Oh, good afternoon, everybody. This is Kenya Rockman, the author and founder of the Child Support Council and the founder of the Reform Child Support Now movement. I hope you all are doing well this afternoon, and I'll wait and see when people come on. I just wanted to make a quick video about important information I think that I want to share with everybody. Hope everybody is doing well, and as always, thank you for your continued support as we fight for child support reform in the United States. And hopefully you're fighting for child support reform around the world, because we know it's an issue everywhere. And shout out to everybody in here in the United States and around the world that support our movement. You get people in there. One thing I want to say before I get started is the Child Support Hustle is a movement that I started back in 2013, and there are no other like chapters. I don't have state chapters like the Utah Child Support Hustle or the Ohio Child Support Hustle. There's just the Child Support Hustle, and I say that because there are people that will start up the such and such child support hustle. They're not affiliated with me. So if you take any information from them, then that's solely on you. They're not represented by us. And if they ask you for money for donations, or you give them money to buy a book or some other product, a t-shirt, then I'm just warning you that they're not affiliated with the Child Support Hustle. I did trademark our name for that reason, because I didn't want any of the people that we were helping to get any misinformation, nor did I want anybody to get swindled. We know that in this fight for reform, there are people that, besides the government, that will hustle you out of your money. So I just want to put that out there. And and also, please like and share this video if you can. I'd greatly appreciate it. Somebody let me know. You have to say that when you make a live video, so please like and share. So the information I wanted to talk about today is just that if I'm getting messages from parents and they're asking about when the custodial parent is going to request to have the case closed. That's great. Yay, go parents. Coming to that conclusion together that you want to close the case and take care of your children on your own. That is awesome. I've often said that while we fight for child support reform, another way that we can dismantle the system is not participate. Child support is a voluntary system. It's only mandatory if you receive welfare benefits. So if you can go in and say, you know, we're going to do this on our own, that's even better for you and your children. So I'm happy to receive these messages. Hopefully I'll receive more, but I want to put this video out so that you guys that are going to close your cases or asking questions about closing your cases, that you are aware of certain things that you should know when you're doing that. And I know this because, and people often ask, well, how'd you get into this fight? And how I did is because I had a case in Columbus, Ohio. That's where I'm originally from. I was on the welfare system, and back when former President Clinton reformed child support in the welfare system, he also reformed the child support system. When you were receiving public benefits, then you were told to sign up for child support, and they would give you an extra $50 on your welfare case. So unbeknownst to me, and probably many others like me, we did not know that we were actually filing a lawsuit. And I didn't know until many years later, when I had moved out of the state of Ohio and moved to Texas. So I was sitting at my desk one day and the phone rang, and it was a judge from Ohio. And I knew the child support case was there, of course, but I wasn't paying any attention to it. and my child's father was in jail, and there was arrears on the case of probably about 30,000. And she told me that he was in jail. We didn't communicate. I communicated pretty much with his family, but not him. And said, well, he bonded out, but there's a child support hold on him, and it's up to you whether you want him released or not. And I had a lot of thoughts that went through my mind, but one particular thought that stayed with me was that that was too much power for one person to have over another person because they have a child together. I shouldn't have had that much control over him. So I said, yeah, let him out. And then I went directly to, hi, Tomas. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Directly to finding out what I needed to do to close this child support case. And I made some notes. You know, I like my teleprompter, so I don't forget anything. And I'm giving you a background because I'm gonna give you information on what I had to do in my case to get the case ultimately closed and the arrears erased. But it was a process. If you've heard my story before, you know it took me 8 years of fighting with them. So let's see. And so that's one of the big questions when you go in, if the case is a welfare case or a non-welfare case. If it's a non-welfare case, it's as simple as the custodial parent going in and requesting the case to be closed. You want to make sure that it's not only closed with the welfare office, because that's what child support is welfare. You want it closed there, but you also want the judgment closed in the court system. So let me see. This is a piece of history that Columbus, Ohio was the pilot state for the child support program when they reformed the system. So we were the guinea pig, and they were actually sued after the system was implemented, because they were keeping all of that child support money and only giving the custodial parents $50 out of their payment. So I went back to look and try to write up and show that, but I can't find any information. You know, they'll hide the news sometimes when they don't want people to know the history. So, okay. When we went back, they told me I had to come back to Columbus, Ohio, which on my dime, I flew back there. And after going back and forth over and over, yes, I want to close my case. I had to talk to several people at the child support office down there in Fulton. And finally, they said I could close the case. We filled out some paperwork. They sent us over to the courthouse, filled out paperwork. And as far as we both knew, our case was closed. And the arrears were gone. So about 8 months, let me hold on a sec. Okay, so about 8 months later, my child's father called and said that his license were again suspended. He was getting, he received a bill for the arrears. So I immediately called to the child support enforcement agency back in Ohio and said, you know, what are you guys doing? We closed this case. I've been there. They said that I closed the case as far as the child support agency was concerned, but not the judgment. I did not terminate the judgment, nor was that my right to terminate the judgment. So they said if I wanted to do that, I had to go in front of a judge again and petition the court to have the case closed. But I could not get the arrears erased because they were state owed arrears. And I said, okay, I'll be there. So I flew back again. Now this is money I could be spending on my children, but I'm trying to get this case closed. And I went back, went to court, and they told me again, this time they told me there was nothing that I could do. They would not close my case in the court system. So it would always remain open. The child support order and the monies would every month look like a debt that needed to be collected, and the arrears would continue to grow. He was to continue to get punished when that payment wasn't made. that was unacceptable for me because I, being the custodial parent, I had rights too. And that's how the fight began. And so that's why I want to share with you all that when you contact the child support office, if you're wanting to close your case, hi Ted, you want to tell them that you want to close your case